So today, now we are in chapter 18, conclusion, the perfection of renunciation, and it's about today we'll be reading shloka 18.18. Uh, Jnanam geyam parigyata trividha karma chodana karanam karma karteti trividha karma sangraha. Translation: the knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower are the three factors that motivate action. The senses, the work, and the doer are the three constituents of action. Okay, so the purport. In this purport, we understand that Lord Krishna has already explained the science of action, the reactions and reactions to actions, how to be free from these reactions. He has explained he has explained the various yoga systems to Arjuna. Arjuna has asked questions, and through Arjuna, Lord Krishna Lord Krishna, through the discussion of the questions asked by Arjuna to Lord Krishna, we are getting this science of Krishna consciousness or devotional service. So Jnanam Geyam Parigyata Trividha Karma Chodana. So what propels action? What all is involved in action? The impetus, inspiration, impulse. So there are three kinds of impetus for daily work or action. Jnanam, the knowledge. Geyam, the object of knowledge, the thing to be known. And Parigyata, the knower. So knowledge provides understanding to the knower, the person, who is the knower, about the object of knowledge. Um, so Jnanam, Geyam, Parigyata, these three are the factors of action. So Karanam, Karma, Karteti, three vidha of three kinds, karma of work, three constituents of work, elements of work, content of action. So Karanam, the senses, the instruments of work. It is the instrument by which action is being done. Action is done. Karma, the work itself. It is the action. Karta, the doer, the worker. Uh, and any work done by any human being has these elements, three elements, right? So, and we know that there are 10 senses, 5 working senses, active senses, and 5 knowledge acquiring senses. There are gross organs and subtle senses, knowledge acquiring senses, and the organs. So there is hearing through ear, touch through skin, taste through tongue, smell through nose, sight through eyes, and there are active working senses. So there is power of talking, the speech. There are hands, legs, generating organ, evacuating outlet. So one cannot engage in transcendental loving service of the Lord directly with these material senses in their present materially covered state. So these senses have to be purified by the process of devotional service. So the jiva, individual soul, is propelled by these these senses, and is led into an activity. So before actually any kind of work, a tangible work is performed, before you see any tangible work, there is some subtle form of work before that. So before one acts, there is some impetus, there is some inspiration, and there is any solution arrived at before work is actualized or takes some form. There is a subtle form of work being done. So there is um, so we know that this is being we can relate this with our daily life. People work and go from one place to another. So many works are being done, cook, some sing, things like that. So there is some kind of mental preparation being done. So then the subtle work or the work takes the form of action. So first there is psychological process, impetus, inspiration. First one has to undergo the psychological process of thinking, feeling, and willing. These are the activities of the mind, and that is called impetus or the inspiration. And the inspiration to work is the same if it comes from the scripture or from the instruction of the spiritual master, because both are the instructions of the Lord. So one is through the person and another is through the scripture. So we know that Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, these are scriptures of the Lord, and spiritual master or guru in parampara, in Vaishnava parampara, he is actually talking what the scriptures say as it is. So these are the same. So next, the constituents of an activity or work. So when there is inspiration and the worker is there, so then the actual activity takes place by the help of the senses, including the mind, which is the center of all senses, or is also called the 11th sense. So karma of work, sangraha, the accumulation. So the sum total of all the constituents of an activity is called the accumulation of work or the sangraha. So yeah, before we actually see any tangible work, there's a lot of mental preparation, and we know that senses are being used. A worker is there, the doer is there, inspiration is there. So this we can relate, and then there's some tangible work is being done, and before that, some subtle form of preparation or work is being done in the mind using the activities of the mind of thinking, feeling, and willing. And then some knowledge is being put behind the scenes, some knowledge is being put, and the object of knowledge is there, thing to be known to achieve certain goal, and the knower has that knowledge. So these things are there, these factors of action are there. So we can see few examples. For example, a person might be interested in joining an organization. So the person wants to join an organization, but if he or she has knowledge of the remuneration paid by the employer and certain other benefits, the person will be making a choice whether to join this organization or that organization. So the pay, benefits, leaves, timings, work hours, office location, other conveniences, pick and drop facility, etc. So these would be there. So person would be doing some preparation before actually deciding to join an organization. There has to be some objective. It could be salary or other factors, um, and it would be using mind and senses to actually reach a decision and achieve the objective. And before that, there is some mental preparation. Um, so things like that. So the knowledge to achieve that goal or objective, and the knower. So you will be able to take the decision based on that. Other things, for example, so, so karma is the action and the karta is the doer. Say a person goes to another example. A person goes to wants to see some flowers, birds. Go to a scenic place to actually see some flower birds. And so at that time, these three are there. For example, the jnanam is there, gayam is there, parigyata is there. Parigyata is the person who is the knower, who wants to be the knower, experience that. And jnana is the process of knowledge, um, and the gaya is the object of knowledge to actually experience that scenic scene, flowers, birds, etc. Uh, so that is how it is. Uh, so you have to know where this is, and you go there. Uh, you are the knower, the person, and the object of knowledge is to experience this thing. Another example is somebody studying engineering, jnanam, but but the objective is not knowledge, but employment, and then enjoyment. So that is, it's like a series of cause and effects. Um, it could be series of cause and effect, or you're already familiar with the goal. You want to enjoy, you want to make money, and for that you have to achieve knowledge. So first knowledge, so objective is there, or immediate objective is there. Then there is employment, then there is enjoyment. So that is how it is. Game. Um, so that is how it is. So these three factors are there. Objective of knowledge is there. You want to enjoy, or whether it is employment, or whether it is knowledge, or it could be all three. But initially it is knowledge, or then employment, and then enjoyment. This is how it is. And for that you achieve knowledge, jnanam, and the person who is the person is the um, parigyata. Parigyata is the person. Game is the object of knowledge. Jnana is the process of knowledge. And then um, So then Karanam karma karteti. Karanam is the instrument by which the action is done. Karma is the action and the karta is the doer, right? So if a person, so for example, another example, so if a person wanted to be an eloquent speaker, then the person has to be there, voice has to be there, that sense organ. Um, the person has to speak, he has to speak several times to achieve the objective, to become a good speaker. So karma has to be performed. Karta, the doer, is there, who is doing this, who is using his senses, performing this activity, and uh, and then he's performing this action, karma, that is of speaking several times to become a um, good speaker, right? So all these three things are there. The speaker is there, the sense of speech is there, and he speaks, performs that action. So the karta speaks, performs the action of speaking, karma, and he's actually doing this several times, and he's using the senses, karanam, the instruments of speech, is to perform that senses, to perform that action. So these three are the components of action. So another example could be, for other example you can think of is, you want to go to temple. So either you have been there many times or you're going there for the first time. You would be using your sense. You would be, before you actually go there, you're actually doing this subtle preparation in your mind, using the performing the activities of the mind, thinking, feeling, and willing. And there is subtle form of work, there is impulse, there is inspiration before you actually do that activity. Or you could be using Google Map. So a series of cause and effect to actually achieve a certain goal or objective. There is an objective to perform that goal, and you're using um, you're actually trying to see how to go there, or you already know, so you're the knower, the parigyata, and the objective of knowledge: go to temple or have prasadam, attend Srimad Bhagavatam class, or associate with devotees, or have darshan of the Lord. Could be all of these. um, and jnanam, you have to have knowledge how to do this, how to achieve this. um, So, and then you're using your senses one after another, uh, depending on how you've been there many times or how it is. You're using Google and things like that, using the sense of touch, or driving and etc., or taking decisions from, how to go there by bus, by train, or by metro, or how, if you're living there, you're just walking there. Um, so you will be actually performing the action work and you will be actually doing it. But then there is some mental preparation which happens in the mind. So before you actually perform that activity, before you actually start going there, and it's like a series of cause and effect. You'd be doing many things on the way. Or cooking bhoga offering, bhoga preparation for the Lord, objective, and there is some inspiration why you want to do this. Um, Before you actually do this, you're thinking, thinking, feeling, and willing. Prepare khichdi, like that, and you or somebody in the temple, if you see somebody's preparing bhoga offering, then somebody is making uh, offering to the Lord, and then somebody is finally distributing prasadam to the devotees, like that. So series of cause and effect and series of things that are happening. um, so all these three are there. So there is impetus, inspiration is there in the mind, and then actually the work, tangible work can be seen. But behind the scene, you have performed these things, like there is knowledge, there is objective of knowledge game, there is parigyata, the knower, who is actually doing, who there is a reason why you're doing this, how to do this, and the knowledge is there, jnanam. And for this, you can see that senses were used, work or action performed, and then it's a doer who actually did that work. Um, so many things. So you can relate this in your everyday life. Um, so all these factors are there. So now, Lord will further explain how these three things differ. based on the three modes of material nature. Lord will relate these two three modes of material nature to explain why people or the doer differ from each other in the motives or the actions they perform. So, because there are three modes of material nature, and adipides and so material nature, goodness, passion, or ignorance, how they would differ. Their activities would differ based on the three modes of material nature. So, very interesting. This we can relate in our everyday life. So, yeah. So, thank you all for joining. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji Mataji's. Hari Bol. Thanks for joining.